Set in a future only minutes away from now, Charlie Brooker's TV series Black Mirror is the perfect show to make you feel uncomfortable and question if this is how the world is developing in front of your very eyes. The anthology holds some amazing moments that leave you with questions and discussions, but I've picked out 5 of the strongest throughout the 3 series. So sit back and prepare to get messed up, because here are the 5 most powerful moments in Black Mirror. Number 5. White Christmas. White Christmas was the 75-minute Christmas special at the end of Series 2 that contained a lot of unsettling stories within that one episode. It ranges from men teaming up online, helping each other have sex through a device that allows you to see through their point of view, to being able to be blocked out of somebody's life and becoming a muffled blur just by the click of a button. Throughout the episode, you wonder about Rafe Spall's character and you feel sorry for him. He's been blocked, his partner's left him, and she's cheated on him. But the real gut-hitting part of the story is at the end, where Rafe Spall's character has to constantly live in the kitchen of his ex-wife's father, whom he murdered, with the ex-partner's child in the garden who is dead due to his own actions, whilst constantly listening to the song I Wish It Could Be Christmas every day. Number 4. National Anthem. National Anthem is the first ever episode, an episode based on the Prime Minister being blackmailed into having unprotected sex with a pig. It's not one of my favourite episodes, but the climax of the episode where he has to have sex with the pig is extremely unpleasant and you feel for the Prime Minister. The episode builds up to this moment by there being a constant countdown throughout the day on the news, and you're left thinking, are they going to find the person blackmailing him, or is he actually going to have sex with the pig? The aftermath where he's in the bathroom being sick visually is unpleasant, and you realise even more so what he has just done and how disgusting it actually is. Number 3. Shut Up and Dance. Now, this is the only episode from Series 3 that made it onto the list, but Shut Up and Dance yet again is another story about somebody being blackmailed. Alex Lawther portrays a boy named Kenny who masturbates in front of his webcam to what you believe is porn, and without him knowing, hackers recorded the footage and are now sending him around doing tasks, threatening to leak the video if he fails to do so.
Give me money!
Along the way, you meet other victims of these hackers, such as Game of Thrones star Jerome Flynn, who's being blackmailed for cheating on his wife. Throughout the whole episode, you feel for Kenny because he was doing something harmless that a lot of teenage boys do. However, with it being Black Mirror, there's a twist in the tale. At the end of the episode, he is told to fight to the death against another victim of the hackers who was caught looking at photos of young girls. And this is when you then find out that Kenny was not just looking at online porn, he was looking at underage girls. This then makes you realise why he was prepared to rob a bank and go to the extreme measures that he did to keep the video from getting out and ultimately killing another man. You also then think back to previous moments in the episode, for example when he was at work and when he's staring and then approaches a little girl smiling at her. Black Mirror, you mind. Number 2. The Entire History of You. What better way to finish Series 1 than with this episode? A world where people can relive their memories because they're all filmed via a grain implanted behind their ear, which allows them to play back everything they see and hear. So when Toby Kebbell's character's wife cheats on him, he demands to see it played back to him via her grain. She tries to delete it but is unsuccessful in doing so. Whilst the video is being played to him, it cuts to black dramatically and then reopens at his house where his wife and child are there. But of course, he's just looking at the past, when in reality, he is in his house alone and it looks like his wife has left him through the absence of his wife's painting above the bed. The final part of the episode has Toby's character walking through the house and cuts between reality and footage from the grain. Visually, it is perfect, and the difference in colouring between the grain showing a lot of bright colours representing happier times and then cutting to reality where it is extremely grey and the rooms are a mess and empty. Ultimately, he enters his bathroom with a razor and starts to cut out the grain. Whilst this is happening, lots of his memories are being shown on screen and it finishes with the face of his wife being the last one that you see. Number 1. Be Right Back. Be Right Back, an episode where the dead can almost be resurrected in a way through an archive of all of their previous online activity. There are different levels to this, and the furthest you can go is when you get provided with a blank synthetic body that will take on the features of the deceased. When Martha's boyfriend dies, she uses this technology on her dead partner Ash. At first she doesn't mind, but then over time the things that made Ash who he was as a human was lacking in the synthetic, despite it looking identical to him. This then leads to the climax of the episode, and for me the most powerful moment in Black Mirror. which is when they're standing at the top of the cliff and Martha tells an emotionless synthetic Ash to jump. He doesn't at first because he's not programmed to express suicidal thoughts, but then goes to do so. Martha then says how the real Ash wouldn't and how he would know what is going on and would be crying. In that instance, the emotionless synth then changes its emotions drastically to begging her to not make him jump and saying that he's frightened and that he doesn't want to die. Martha says it's not fair, and over the top of all of this begging, she looks off the cliff into the distance and lets out the most harrowing scream, and it cuts to black. So there you have it, the 5 most powerful moments in Black Mirror. Do you agree? Leave a comment down below and don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you next time.